Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be sharing a quick update on Vodafone Idea, or V as it is now called. They have already announced the date for their second quarter results. So I'll be sharing my expectations as well in this video. So let's start. So the main points that I will be covering in this video I mentioned here. Firstly, some finer and more important details about the subscriber base progress. Okay, so far we have data announced by TRAI till the month of July, okay, July 20. But remember that we have to take these numbers with the realization that July and August were the peak months of negativity for Vodafone Idea as regards to the AGR case. The AGR case outcome was announced on the first week of September. So till then there was a lot of negativity going on about Vodafone Idea, about its survival chances also. So we have to consider these factors when we are looking at the number progress till August. We don't have the August numbers yet. TRAI's figures are only till July, as we know for right now. So my expectations I'll be sharing that changes that I'm expecting after September 20 onwards. And then the results. The results date is announced to be 29th of October. So I'll be sharing my expectations of the results also at the end of this video. So let's start with the first point. So whenever we look at media announcements or about the subscriber figures, we only see that Vodafone Idea has lost so many million subscribers this month and figures like that. So in this chart, if you see the total subscriber base figure starting from January, in January 2019, it was at 415 million and it has been sliding and it has now reached 301 million. This is a total subscriber base figure, and by the end of July the company has already lost nearly 30% of its subscribers. So if we look at these figures, we see that this company is going down the drain. But remember, these are not the most important figures. The company has not lost 30% of its revenues during this period. Its quarterly revenues still hold strong. It has barely lost maybe 8 or 10% of its revenues till the end of December 2019. And after that, it has seen some recovery thanks to tariff hikes. But even despite this sharp fall in its subscriber base, the revenue fall hasn't been so much. Okay, so remember, these are not the most important figures that we should look at. Let's go to the next slide. In this slide, what I have considered is the VLR subscriber base or the active subscriber base, and I've split it into two parts. 2G subscribers, this red bar portion represents the 2G subscriber base, and the blue bar at the bottom represents the 4G or 3G subscriber. It's mostly 4G now, but it does comprise a little small portion of the 3G user base as well. So 3G or 4G users form the broadband user base, and the red portion is of the 2G subscribers. That is the remaining portion of the out of the active subscriber numbers that we know that are announced every month. So if you see in this slide, okay, so the numbers are sliding, no doubt. The total numbers are sliding. But if you see the blue portion, okay, the blue portion at the bottom, it was at 110 million in January 2019, and it has been rather steady till about September 2019. Okay, it managed to maintain the figure at around 110, 112 million users till September 2019. After that, there was a sharp increase from 112 to 120 million over the next 2 months. But remember, in October 2019, in the last week of October, it got a big setback in the form of the Supreme Court's hearing of the AGR case, when it was announced that the operators have lost the case and they will have to shell out huge sums of money as past dues. So after that, there was a lot of uncertainty in the market related to Vodafone Idea's survival. In fact, the competitors also enjoyed having fun at the expense of Vodafone Idea. There was a lot of media reports writing off the possibility of any survival for this company. But still, if you see, after that, even though the company did not manage to grow its 4G subscriber base, but it has remained rather steady. So from 120 million in November 2019, the figure remained steady at around 117 to 118 million till the start of the lockdown. So by March, it was at 117 million. When the lockdown began in the first month, almost all operators suffered a hit. So even Vodafone Idea suffered a loss of 6 million broadband subscribers here. But after that, it has seen some recovery and it is now back to 115 million in July 2020. So these are figures till July. If you look at the red bars now, we have seen that it's been continuously sliding. The number was at 275 million in January 2019 and it has been sliding and it is now down to 154 million. So that means over the last say 18 or 19 months, Vodafone Idea has lost nearly 120 million of its 2G users. So remember, the company has lost 2G users in the last 18-19 months. It has not lost any of its 3G, 4G subscribers. That figure has gone up by 5 million. From 110 million here, it is now at 115 million in July 20. So it has gained 5 million of broadband subscribers, but it has lost 120 million of its 2G users. Now, on an average, the 2G users generate much lower revenue compared to the broadband users. So from here on, what will be more important is from September 20 onwards, what will be the changes that we can expect, or what can be the improvements that we can expect. I'll be discussing that in the next coming couple of slides. Let's have a quick look at the wireline subscriber additions as well. So wireline business is much smaller in size for Vodafone Idea. It barely has about 4.6 lakh users, wireline users right now, but the positive point is it is regularly adding subscribers, despite the fact that Reliance Jio is a very aggressive player in the broadband, wireline broadband space as well. Even Bharti Airtel is a very large player here, and it is also consistently adding users. Vodafone Idea, despite being a relatively small player, it is managing to add a fairly good, decent number of users every month. January was an exceptional month where it added over 35,000 users. But even after that, there has been an average addition of around 6,000 users a month. Okay, average. Only there was a dip in the month of May. We all know it was thanks to the lockdown effect, when a lot of work got affected. But after that, in June and July, the company has managed to add over 6,000 users again. So the wireline business, if I do a rough calculation, let's say around 1,000 rupees of average revenue per user, it's not contributing much more than maybe 150 crores in revenues every quarter for the company. But any bit of addition at decent 6,000 plus users every month will continue to add some bit of revenue. Let's say around 5 or 6 crores every quarter. The revenues will get increased. Okay, if it continues to add this many subscribers every month, so it is still a positive. The important point here is a company, if it was on the verge of closing down, it wouldn't have spent or invested in adding wireline users, because addition of every wireline user needs a lot more expenditure for the company, lot more efforts also. So if a company was on the verge of shutting down, then it wouldn't have even bothered to add a single wireline user. But if you see the last 6 months of track record, the company has been adding a decent number of users, and that means it's definitely not on the verge of closing down. Okay, this is a very positive indicator, and the things can improve from here. What matters more is the relationship that Vodafone Idea is building with several of its enterprise customers. So these enterprise customers are basically taking wireline those who are taking wireline connections could would give additional business to Vodafone Idea in terms of managed services, several kind of customized solutions, telecom solutions, and as well as for the wireless broadband space or Internet of Things as well. So these things can build revenue for the company in coming quarters or coming years. Now, what are the changes that I'm expecting from September 20 onwards? So the biggest positive that for Vodafone Idea was the uncertainty that was surrounding it as regards to the AGR case. It got over in the first week of September. The Supreme Court did allow a 10-year duration staggered payment of the AGR dues for all operators, including Vodafone Idea. So that uncertainty being over is a very, very big positive. So no more negative news surrounding that for the company. Then the next part, the company took swift action on two fronts. Firstly, it announced that they will be raising capital, fresh capital in the form of debt as well as equity. So they have already announced that a total capital of 25,000 crores will be raised. Maybe in the next couple of months we'll see action on that front. So out of that, around 10 to 15,000 crores of equity capital is expected, and the remaining will be debt. So once this 25,000 crores of fundraising is done, I think the company will be able to survive what I've been mentioning in my previous videos, that the initial 2-3 years of survival is extremely crucial for the company, and that is a delicate part. So with this 25,000 crores of fundraising, I think the survival question won't come up again. The company can certainly run through or progress through these initial 2-3 years of period. It can focus on expanding its user base aggressively, and for that the company has done the second biggest thing, that was they have launched an integrated new brand for Vodafone and Idea. Now it's called V, okay, VI, that is V. So that new brand was launched in September, in the month of September again. That represents the completion of or near completion of the network integration that was underway for the last 2 years or so. So this is another very big positive, and with this launch of new brand, the company has got really very aggressive in advertising. So over the last 2 years, the company, if you notice, it wasn't aggressively marketing its services, and still, despite of lack of advertising, the company managed to hold on to most of its revenue generating users. So that is a very big positive. From September onwards, now it is focusing on aggressive advertising, aggressive marketing of its services, and this should help attract subscribers to its networks on a large scale. So whatever the negative trend that we have been seeing in terms of subscriber degrowth over the last 2 years or so, that should start reversing, maybe not from immediately from September, but maybe in the third quarter onwards we'll see positive improvement, and that will be a substantial positive improvement in the 4G user base. That is what I'm expecting to happen. Let's say if it does, that's great, but I think it should happen. I'm expecting around 5 million users addition every quarter for sure on the 4G front. Okay, 4G broadband, wireless broadband front, I'm expecting a minimum of 5 million users being added to Vodafone's Idea's networks. It will continue to expand its network coverage. It will continue to shut down its 3G network and use more of its spectrum for 4G services. So that will continue to happen, and it will help push the capacity further higher. It already has a substantial capacity advantage when compared to Airtel and Jio, and that it's using for the new innovative plans that it has been launching. So it launched double data plans a couple of months ago, and then recently, if you see with the launch of V brand, it has announced quite a good number of features and plans as well for work from home data plans, like the 100 GB data prepaid data plan for 351 rupees, or the weekend rollover feature that it announced just a couple of days back. So these are excellent innovative ideas, and this should help attract younger audience, okay, younger user base to the Vodafone Idea network or V network. So we should definitely see a positive reversal for the subscriber flow, okay, for the company. Now let's look at the see what we can expect in terms of numbers for the second quarter, that is the September quarter. You can see currently I have placed the March quarter numbers and the June quarter numbers in front of you. We saw a sharp degrowth in total income by around 10% in the first quarter, but we all know the reasons. Thanks to the lockdown, sharp or strict lockdown during the month of April and initial part of May, there were very few recharge stores open. So that's why a substantial portion of the 2G users couldn't recharge their phones, and still it still had a 10%, only a 10% impact on its total income. So this should get reversed. I think for the September quarter, I'm expecting the revenue to go back to very close to the March quarter figure. So I'm expecting a figure of close to 12,000 crores for March, just like March quarter, for the coming September quarter results. It could have been much higher had this lockdown never happened. Had there been no COVID, had there been no lockdown, we could have seen the June quarter figure itself to be close to around 13,000 crores. But I think now the 13,000 crores figure got delayed by at least a couple of quarters. For the September quarter, I'm expecting a figure of close to 12,000 crores in total income, and maybe in December quarter we could see it scale up to 13,000 crores or so. On the EBITDA front, I think we should see a 15% plus quarter-on-quarter improvement. Okay, 15% over this figure. So it should be somewhere around 4,700 to 4,800 crores of EBITDA. That is what I'm expecting. So if the company manages to achieve these targets that I have mentioned right now, I think I'll be fairly happy. And so that we can at least make sure that the company is progressing on the right track. In next quarter, December quarter, we'll see further progress thanks to the aggressive marketing also, and addition of users. It could see a higher growth in income. But for this quarter, let's focus on these two figures: 12,000 crores of total income and around 4,700 plus crores of EBITDA. So let's focus on these two figures. The rest of the figures are not that important. We'll get the actual figures on the 29th of October, and then I'll share a fresh update on this, on the figures. So if you find this video useful, please do like and share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you.